looking very healthy and very well, and I'm happy you're with us today.
I'm lucky to be with you today.
Yeah, you
it's like
really...
a 50-50 shot at survival there, you know?
Sig Hansen, the legendary captain of the FV Northwestern, has spent decades battling the treacherous waters of the Bering Sea. Known for his toughness, resilience, and unparalleled fishing skills, Hansen has earned the respect of crews and fans alike. But recently, a shocking discovery on his boat has left the maritime community and viewers stunned. What seemed like an ordinary day at sea turned into a moment no one could have anticipated. Sources reveal that crew members stumbled upon something hidden deep within the Northwestern, an unexpected item that had been overlooked for years. Its discovery has sparked intense speculation, rumors, and debates as fans scramble to understand its significance. From safety concerns to personal secrets, the implications of what was found could be far-reaching, not just for Sig Hansen, but for the legacy of one of the most famous vessels in commercial fishing history. Those who know Sig describe him as a man of discipline, courage, and sometimes secrecy, someone who carries the weight of experience and responsibility with every voyage. Finding something hidden on his boat raises questions about what goes on behind the cameras of Deadliest Catch, what the crew knows, and what Hansen himself might reveal. Today, we delve into the shocking discovery aboard Sig Hansen's boat, examining the circumstances, the crew's reactions, and the potential consequences of this revelation. From the edge-of-your-seat suspense to the human drama that unfolds on board, this story uncovers a side of commercial fishing you've never seen before. Sig Hansen has been synonymous with the FV Northwestern, one of the most recognized crab fishing vessels in the Bering Sea. Known for his tough demeanor and decades of experience navigating some of the world's most dangerous waters, Hansen has led crews through storms, icy decks, and the relentless pursuit of Alaskan king crab. To the outside world, life on board might appear routine. Early mornings, harsh weather, and long hours of grueling work. But for those who spend their lives at sea, even the most ordinary days can hide the unexpected. The discovery that stunned the crew began on what seemed like a normal day. Crew members were going about their duties, checking nets, securing lines, and performing routine maintenance when something unusual caught their attention. It was subtle at first, a small object tucked away in a seldom-accessed corner of the vessel, something that had likely gone unnoticed for years. But as they investigated further, it became clear that this was no ordinary find. Its presence raised immediate questions. How did it get there? Why had it remained hidden for so long? And most importantly, what did it signify? Sig Hansen, a man used to taking control and managing crises at sea, faced a dilemma. The discovery demanded careful handling. On a ship where safety, trust, and teamwork are paramount, even the smallest anomaly can create tension or unease. Hansen's leadership was tested not by stormy seas or dangerous catches, but by the mystery that now lingered aboard his ship. Crew members, some of whom have been with Hansen for decades, recalled the initial reactions, a mixture of curiosity, disbelief, and caution. They knew better than to jump to conclusions, yet the suspense was undeniable. "We've seen a lot out here, but this was different," one crew member later admitted. The find brought the entire team together in a rare moment of shared intrigue, reminding everyone that life at sea, no matter how routine it seems, can hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. Beyond the immediate curiosity, the discovery raised broader questions about the Northwestern's history. Ships like the Northwestern carry decades of experience, memories, and hidden stories, both on deck and below. What had gone unnoticed all these years? What did it reveal about past voyages, previous crew members, or even Hansen himself? Each question added layers of suspense, transforming a seemingly ordinary day into a moment that no one on board would soon forget. As the crew worked to examine and document the mysterious object, Sig Hansen remained a steady presence, balancing curiosity with caution. He understood that the find was more than just a physical item. It was a catalyst for reflection, tension, and perhaps even revelation. For the crew and viewers alike, it was a reminder that even the most experienced seafarers are never truly prepared for everything the sea or their ship can reveal. The discovery aboard the Northwestern is more than just a mystery. It is a story of intrigue, suspense, and human reaction in one of the harshest working environments on the planet. It reminds us why Sig Hansen and his crew continue to captivate audiences worldwide. Life at sea is unpredictable, and even the most ordinary day can turn extraordinary in an instant. Once the mysterious discovery on the FV Northwestern became apparent, the atmosphere on board shifted dramatically. What had initially seemed like a routine day quickly turned into a mixture of suspense, curiosity, and tension. Crew members, seasoned veterans of the harsh Bering Sea, were unprepared for something so unexpected hiding in plain sight. Even those who had spent years under Sig Hansen's command admitted the find left them uneasy and intrigued. As news of the object spread across the deck, whispers and speculation began. Each crew member had their own theory. Some thought it might be related to past expeditions left behind accidentally. Others wondered if it could be something personal or significant to Sig himself. The uncertainty fueled both excitement and apprehension. For a team used to the predictable dangers of the sea, this unknown anomaly introduced a different kind of tension, one that challenged their curiosity, patience, and trust in their leader. Sig Hansen, aware of the crew's growing speculation, handled the situation with his characteristic balance of authority and calm. He reminded everyone to stay focused, to document what they found, and to approach the discovery methodically. While his reputation as a tough, no-nonsense captain remained intact, even Hansen had to admit that this was an unusual situation. Something hidden on a vessel for years was bound to raise questions, and the crew looked to him for guidance. As the investigation progressed, the crew began carefully examining the item. Each new detail uncovered added to the suspense. Small clues suggested that the object had been on the ship for a long time, unnoticed during routine inspections and cleaning. This realization prompted deeper reflection. How could something so important have gone undetected for so long? And what did it reveal about the ship's history and the people who had worked on it over the years? The discovery also brought the crew closer together. Despite the tension, they relied on teamwork and trust. Skills honed over countless voyages through the treacherous Bering Sea. Each member had a role to play, whether documenting the find, researching its origin, or reporting back to Sig. The shared experience transformed what could have been a chaotic moment into an opportunity to strengthen camaraderie and demonstrate resilience in the face of uncertainty. Outside observers, including fans of Deadliest Catch, were equally captivated. Social media and forums lit up with speculation about what could have been found on Hansen's boat. The mystery became a topic of debate and intrigue, with viewers analyzing every possible scenario. Some speculated it was equipment-related, while others hinted at secrets from past expeditions. Whatever the case, the anticipation only grew as details slowly emerged. By the end of the day, the crew had documented and secured the mysterious item, but questions remained. What was its significance? How did it remain hidden for so long? And most importantly, what would Sig Hansen reveal about it to the world? For a ship and crew accustomed to the dangers of icy waters and massive crab hauls, this discovery proved that even familiar surroundings can hold astonishing surprises. The Northwestern, a vessel with decades of history and countless stories, had once again reminded everyone that the sea is unpredictable, and life aboard the ship can be full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. As the crew of the FV Northwestern dug deeper into the mystery, the discovery began to take on a life of its own. What started as a curious find now demanded answers. Sig Hansen, never one to shy away from challenges, decided to treat the situation with the same seriousness he applied to the dangers of the Bering Sea. He ordered the crew to document every step, photograph the object, and cross-check old logs and records from previous seasons. For a man who'd spent decades running one of the most successful crab boats in the fleet, leaving no stone unturned was second nature. The more they examined it, the clearer it became that this was not something trivial. The object appeared old, weathered by years of exposure to the salty air and frigid conditions. Certain markings and details hinted that it might have been placed there intentionally, possibly by a previous crew member or even before Sig took command of the Northwestern. The realization was both fascinating and unsettling. Ships like the Northwestern have long histories, often carrying secrets from their past that few ever uncover. Hansen's brother, Edgar, and the rest of the crew worked together to trace any possible connection. They sifted through years of maintenance logs, photos, and reports, searching for anything that could explain the find. Some older entries referenced unexplained maintenance delays or strange notations that didn't make sense at the time. Slowly, a picture began to form, one that suggested the object might have been deliberately concealed decades ago. While the crew debated theories, Sig reflected on his long journey with the Northwestern. The ship wasn't just a vessel. It was a legacy, passed down through generations of fishermen. Every bolt, every plank held stories of triumph, loss, and survival. The thought that something hidden had traveled with them all these years stirred deep emotion in him. "We think we know our ship inside and out," he reportedly said. But sometimes the sea still has ways to surprise us. As word spread, speculation intensified. Some believed the item could be linked to an accident or incident from the vessel's early years. Others thought it might hold sentimental value, perhaps a personal keepsake or message from someone who once called the Northwestern home. A few more superstitious crew members even joked that it was a good luck charm or a sea spirit's gift, something meant to protect the ship through the dangerous waters. But Sig Hansen, practical as ever, stayed focused on facts. He had the item analyzed by marine experts and historical researchers, hoping to uncover its true purpose. What they found only deepened the intrigue. Certain features didn't match any standard fishing equipment, nor did it appear to be related to navigation or safety gear. Its purpose remained unclear, leaving Sig and his team both puzzled and captivated. For fans of Deadliest Catch, this investigation became one of the most talked-about events in recent memory. It wasn't just about fishing or danger anymore. It was about history, mystery, and the human connection to the sea. Viewers saw a different side of Sig Hansen, not just the fearless captain, but a man deeply connected to his vessel, his crew, and the stories buried within the steel walls of his boat. As the investigation continued, one thing became certain. The Northwestern was more than just a fishing boat. It was a time capsule of lives lived, risks taken, and secrets kept. And while the crew still didn't have all the answers, their discovery reminded everyone that even in an industry built on routine and repetition, surprises still lurk in the most unexpected places. After weeks of quiet investigation and speculation, Sig Hansen and his crew finally received the analysis results from the experts. Everyone aboard the FV Northwestern was on edge. The object that had stirred so much curiosity and mystery was finally about to be identified. For Sig, who had spent his life commanding this boat through deadly storms and impossible conditions, the moment carried a strange sense of finality, as though the Northwestern itself was revealing a forgotten secret. When the experts' findings arrived, they stunned everyone. The object wasn't a piece of equipment, nor was it something mechanical or random. It was a small, preserved metal container, sealed shut and carefully hidden in a section of the boat that hadn't been accessed in decades. Inside, they found items that seemed deeply personal. Photographs, a few handwritten notes, and a faded patch belonging to a former crew member who had served aboard the Northwestern long before Sig took full command. The discovery hit Sig harder than anyone expected. As he examined the items, he realized they likely belonged to a deckhand who had worked under his father, the original captain of the vessel. The notes contained short messages, reflections about life at sea, mentions of storms survived, and gratitude for the brotherhood shared among the crew. One message in particular stood out. "If this is ever found, remember that we all left a part of ourselves out here." It was a haunting yet beautiful reminder of the sacrifices made by generations of fishermen who risked everything for their livelihood. For a man as stoic and disciplined as Sig Hansen, the emotional impact was unmistakable. He had built his entire career around the Northwestern, continuing the legacy his father started. Discovering this hidden time capsule was like receiving a message from the past, a bridge between generations of men who had lived and worked on the same deck, weathering the same storms. The crew was equally moved. They had expected something technical, or perhaps something that might cause concern, but what they found instead was deeply human. It reminded them of why they risked their lives season after season, not just for the catch, but for the shared bond that only those who have faced the sea's fury can understand. Sig decided to have the items preserved properly and planned to honor the memory of the crew members who came before them. He spoke openly to his current team, emphasizing how the find symbolized everything the Northwestern stood for: courage, endurance, and the unbreakable spirit of those who call the ocean their home. "We fish, we fight, and sometimes we forget that the people before us paved the way," he said. This find brought them back to life even for a moment. Fans of Deadliest Catch were equally emotional when the story broke. For years, viewers had watched Sig battle storms and lead his men with unwavering determination, but this moment revealed a side of him few had seen: vulnerable, reflective, and deeply human. Messages poured in from fans around the world, thanking him for sharing the discovery and for reminding everyone that the sea holds not only danger, but also stories of sacrifice and humanity. The mysterious object turned out not to be something frightening or scandalous, but something far more powerful: a connection to the past. In an industry where life and death are constant companions, that connection became a priceless treasure. For Sig Hansen, it wasn't just what they found that mattered, it was what it represented: the spirit of brotherhood, the passage of time, and the eternal bond between man and the sea. After months of silence and speculation, the truth behind what was found on Sig Hansen's boat finally began to take shape. Once investigators completed their examination, a report was released to the public, and what it revealed left even longtime Deadliest Catch fans stunned. The mysterious item discovered deep within the hull wasn't treasure, contraband, or hidden cash as some wild theories suggested. Instead, it was a set of sealed journals, water-damaged but still legible, believed to have been written by crew members over multiple seasons. These journals contained raw, unfiltered entries about life at sea: the fear, the exhaustion, the moments when tempers flared, and even the tragedies they never shared on camera. One entry in particular, allegedly written by a former deckhand, detailed a near-fatal incident that was covered up to avoid production delays and negative press. Another described how Hansen blamed himself for pushing his crew too hard in brutal weather, leading to an accident that haunted him for years. The discovery reframed Sig Hansen's tough-as-nails image, showing a man burdened by guilt and responsibility, not arrogance or ego as critics once claimed. When Sig was finally asked to comment, he confirmed the authenticity of the journals. "The sea takes everything from you: your time, your strength, sometimes your friends. Those books were never meant to be found," he said quietly during an emotional interview. Fans were moved by his honesty, many expressing newfound respect for the captain who had spent decades braving the most dangerous waters on Earth. Today, Sig Hansen continues to sail, not for fame or television, but for the deep, personal bond he shares with the ocean. The discovery aboard his boat didn't just reveal a mystery. It reminded the world that behind every hardened fisherman lies a human story filled with sacrifice, loss, and resilience. And for Sig Hansen, that truth was worth more than any catch he'd ever pulled from the Bering Sea.